some, and I got to go out and play it. And I got a hot deal for about $30 on the course. Went down there, took a nice drive through southwestern northern Virginia between Route 17 and Route 66 and had a good drive. And I actually had reservations about playing this course. Number one, I've played it many times. I've taken at least 2 videos of the course, and I have had a period of my life where I played this course almost exclusively every weekend for 6 months trying to break 100 on this course. Now, I know how much trouble the Gauntlet can be. As much as it is a fun course, it's also a very easy course to get wound up and frustrated on, and it's also a very easy course to look bad playing it. It's a very easy course. I don't think it's that hard of a course, and this is where I want to come in to comparing it to other courses. I don't think it's that hard of a course. It's not that intimidating of a course. What it is an opportunity for people to get ahead of their game and try to take shots they can't hit and put themselves in a bad place or lose focus, thinking that they've gotten over the hump, so to speak, and that everything from there on will be easy. And then the next thing they know, they're not quite focusing. And then the next thing, they're knocking shots back and forth across the green, or they're putting tee shots into the woods just because they're not focusing enough. So it's a tough course to find that sweet spot between focusing too much and struggling and worrying about your game too much and not worrying about it enough. It's like many things in life, you have to have enough worry, but not too much worry to really do well. So one of the things that it does is it helps me to remind myself that I have a decent game, but that doesn't mean I should get out there and get stupid on the golf course. And the Gauntlet is exceptionally good for that, in my opinion. So I did have a lot of fear, in a sense, that I would have not effectively gotten any better the past year or two since I played it. And that really did keep me from playing it for a while. And it's always easier to take a new challenge on than to fail at an old challenge. And so what I said was, I really kind of looked around for other courses to play. I really do like to play new courses and videotape them and so forth, and produce videos about them. But yeah, at some point it had to be done. I had to go back and play it. You can't just stay away from the courses you played before. You have to go back and evaluate your progress. So I did do that with enough of the stars falling into alignment, and I will not pass judgment upon it. I will leave you guessing. Let me just say this. I played the course for probably the 40th time that I've played it, and had a good round. The weather was kind of overcast when we started, and then it got better and better and better. And that's one of the things I really like about this course. It is not a closed-in course where you're standing in these lanes of trees and the trees are 40 feet up above you. It's very rare that on any hole in that course you're going to be shut in and not see the sun and the sky and the clouds and so forth. It's a very open and nice course. It has a nice lake in the middle. It's a very picturesque course, and I really like the environment playing the course. It's one of the few courses that I played that I really felt like I enjoyed just walking around the course as much as I did playing golf there. It also does not have hardly any houses on the course. I think there's a row of houses on, the 12th through the 17th, right? There's a row of houses just past the woods. But it's not like thin woods. It's thick enough where you can't see the houses, even when there's no leaves on the trees, but it's still not like you can't hear anyone over in those houses. You can definitely hear people occasionally talking in the backyard and stuff. There's no total isolation, but for the most part, for like 80% of the course, there's no interference whatsoever from things outside the course. Not traffic, not noise, truck noise. Very, very rarely I hear somebody on a boat in the middle of the lake out there fishing and just hanging out drinking beer and listening to music more than anything else. But it's a great place to play golf. It is a decently challenging course that is not too difficult, and I think the hardest thing about this course is the greens, because like many PB Dye courses, the greens tend to be narrow and steep on the sides of the long sides, and it's very easy to find yourself chipping 3 and 4 times within 20 feet of the pin. Very easy for that to happen. The 17th hole is absolutely diabolical. The 18th is not a lot easier, but the rest of the course I think is fairly simple compared to those 2 holes. And it's really just a matter of, do you have a decent game? I think 90% of the course really comes down to having a decent game. So it is a fun course to play, and it is a decent challenge. It's a good mix of the two. It's a good environment. I mean, it's not like playing out there in Red Rock National Park or something like that, where you can see, these big red formations off in the distance out there in Arizona. It's not like playing on a cliffside course. It's certainly not playing in a course with a lot of water in it, like down on the shore or something where there's a lot of water. And I can definitely think of courses that I still haven't played yet that I'd like to play going forward. But it definitely is a good thing to go back and try a course that you've struggled with in the past and see if all the effort that you've put into trying to be a better player has actually advanced your game. And I did that. And I was fairly happy with results. It wasn't perfect, but I was fairly happy. So let me just say that it is a decent course to play still. Out of all the courses that I played, I still would rank it fairly high. I certainly have played other courses in the area between Richmond and Roanoke and so forth, and Baltimore, that are not as good as the Gauntlet. I still think it is a underrated good course for the competition in the area. I mean, you've got all the Trump courses and this reserve and that reserve. I mean, but it blows courses like so many courses out of the water in the DC area that are twice the price, if not 3 times. I think the last time I played Raspberry Falls, it was $90 around. It's not even close to as good a course as the Gauntlet is. The Gauntlet is not a short course. It's a 143 slope course on the back tees. It's plenty long enough, not even comparable. The only course that I would think that I've actually played around here that really brought it all together, that I thought was really, a good competitor to the Gauntlet, was Potomac Shores. I don't know what else to say. Maybe I'm just jaded. I don't know. But anyway, so I definitely would recommend the course still. They still have some trouble with the greens. They're still a little patchy. They're definitely not like they used to be, where they were really good, really fast, and really well maintained and in good condition. They are good, fast, but they have a fair amount of cracks and stuff on them on a lot of the greens. Some of them are just not really in good shape at all, but no outright bare spots and things like that. Just more like cracks where the greens didn't quite form a nice smooth surface. And definitely there's some courses in the area that have better greens than the Gauntlet, but it's still just a fantastic course overall. Anyway, so it's just an outstanding course in my opinion, especially at $30 for a round with 18 in a cart. And plus I met a guy who is the president of the Chapter 90 Special Forces, which I would suggest that you look into if you get a chance. And he's a really good guy. He was an understated kind of guy, but good partner to play with. Put up with a lot of my crap taking pictures and just my mouth running in general, which I don't think most people would, but he did. And so, long story short, the short story more interesting, definitely still ranking up there in the top 10 courses in the DC area, in my opinion. Top 10 public courses, definitely the Gauntlet in Fredericksburg, Virginia. I definitely will give this course a B+. It really is hard to ask for more in a golf course than the Gauntlet without going to some exotic location. So it's still, I think, a B+ course in my opinion. It is not as tough as like Musket Ridge, or as long as, what's that course out there, Whiskey Creek. It's certainly not as long as Bewley Rock. All these things, that's absolutely true. But I just don't think that length makes a course good. I mean, don't get me wrong, Whiskey Creek is not a bad course. It just doesn't have the same skill level requirements that the Gauntlet has. And only parts of it are really interesting to actually be on, And otherwise, so much of it is how far can you hit the ball, The ninth hole coming into Whiskey Creek is nothing more than how far you can hit the ball in front of a bunch of people sitting, at the clubhouse. Nothing more than that. And a lot of that course is like that. And if you're a decent hitter, if you can hit a reliable 225, 250 off the tee, the course just isn't that hard. It really isn't. So that's what I see. So the Gauntlet will challenge you from tee to pin. Big difference. Okay? I'm not saying that it is the world's best golf course or the best golf course in the DC area. Not at all. But it is a solid challenge. So that is enough said about the Gauntlet, but still a B+ course. And have a Merry Christmas.